VCR Redux will begin in T-5 minutes.
What the fart is VCR Redux?
It's the show where we take movies from the VCR era and bring them back to today.
How do we do that?
Well, we start by talking about a VHS classic, and usually you'll say something like,
I haven't been this uncomfortable since I watched Meatballs 4, Meatballs to the Rescue with my parents. Oh yeah, or you'll say something stupid like,
I wish we lived in a world where the Garbage Pail Kids made as many movies as the Muppets.
but I know you'll always see it through with a positive attitude.
I hate this movie, I hate being here, I hate all of this. Oh, Jamie Kennedy. Oh, well, shit. Well, let's go for this.
He was in Son of Mask. This is genius.
I am not a gamer. I'd rather read books.
Ian's like the old lady that's like, I got video game monsters, I got movie monsters in here.
As long as we respect the passion and the artistry that went into these films.
You know, obviously they took this movie, it's 93, right? You're like, what do you want to see in your Mario movie? And they're like, oh, we want it to be grim, we want a lot of death, we want tits and ass.
Oh, and then we start the pitch ideas with modern day sequels like
Weekend at Bernie's 3, Cocaine Mountain.
Sometimes we take it kind of seriously.
I'll watch a Paul Verhoeven alien movie.
oh my gosh, that alien will have more vaginas than anything you've ever seen in your life. Sometimes this Hawaiian shirted fool will pitch something stupid like,
I would take out the virtual reality stuff and just have it be about Jeff Fahey mowing the lawn.
Sometimes the best pitches come from the live chat.
Alex Bonafonte also pitches Grand Theft Starfighter Vice Galaxy.
wait, I thought I had the best pitches.
And what happens at the end of the movie? The ultimate fart. The fart that the warmth goes like all the way down to your socks.
The only rules are, there are no rules. Sometimes we cross over franchises.
Only the truck from Tango and Cash can kill Christine.
And sometimes we travel back in time.
Like 1995 is missing a good Universal Soldier sequel.
But you never know what we're gonna pitch next.
What do you want? Do you want Daniel Stern behind like a muzzled mask? Like,
We all know it should be Pesci behind the mask, and like underneath the mask, you should hear him going like fritter, 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 fritter.
you are so proud of yourself for that one. I can't stand you.
I would also love to see a Charles Bronson version of It's a Wonderful Life.
What?
Direct to DVD.
If you made a shot-for-shot remake of Scarface with Goofy as Al Pacino, it would be amazing.
Oh my God.
Gosh, you need me to be the bad guy.
It's like the worst 1987 Disney movie Disney's ever made. Schlongo, directed by Jim Wynorski.
Like, I would watch a whole bowl of that.
Do the John Holmes story. Add a comedy spin to it.
Wow, the Wonderland murders are so funny.
I'd watch it on my mobile.
Something happens and he goes into a coma. He gets like, hit by a car or something. I know this is dark, but like, bear with me. He's got to go on.
Did you just go like Hard to Kill with Ferris Bueller?
I'd watch it on my iPad.
If you want to just like throw in the kitchen sink, I mean, it all works. Like Alien versus Predator versus RoboCop, like if that works. Alien versus Predator versus Terminator, that works.
Alien versus Predator versus Ernest, that works.
That works.
I respect everything you just said. I need David Silver and Terry Silver and the Sloan family all learning the Quicksilver, but they're doing it in Breakin' 3 Hydraulic Boogaloo. And it's underwater. It's gonna be incredible. Eat your fucking shit out, James Cameron. I got the underwater movie you can't touch.
That was the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life.
Mr. Toxie Goes to Washington.
My ass would be in the theater tomorrow.
If Harley Quinn gets 7 movies, then Tank Girl should get at least 70.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
I mean, why should we even bother with Look Who's Talking when Air Bud is soaring to new highs?
All I know is I want Danny McBride.
I'd want him doing anything other than writing Halloween movies, honestly. Anything that keeps him away from that fucking job, I'm for it.
Just let him talk out of his butt. I don't care how he does it.
I'd rather not.
Austin Powers doing the Macarena.
That would be the opening credits. Come on.
But we have not yet had Die Hard on a half pipe. What if John McClane Jr. was a pro skateboarder and also an avid machine gun enthusiast? Skater Die Hard.
What up, virtual people? Welcome to the 176th episode of VCR Redux. We take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2025. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined as always by my co-host with the most complaints, film professor Ian Klink.
I don't complain, jeez.
And the third leg of our VCR tripod himself, Mac Daddy Mickey Torres, is back on the show.
Yeah, feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. It's bobsled time.
Wow.
And rounding out this righteous crew, the VCR's favorite location scout, Michael Ricci, is back on the show.
Oh, goody.
Dressed to impress and looking
Cold.
like a success.
Cold America.
It's cold. You better put those
Yes,
booties on,
it
campers.
is.
I got
Well,
this
folks, we are here today to put Leon on ice, to send Yul Brenner to Buckingham Palace, and to kiss an egg that's Doug E. Fresh. That's right, folks. This world needs cool runnings too, and we're here to give it to you. But before Ian starts going off about gas station runnings, we got a dish on how cool runnings came into our lives and what we love about it. And of course, that goes double for you at home and everyone watching the live chat. Was it Love at First Laserdisc, Vital VHS? Hit us up in the chat and let us know how cool runnings came into your lives. But Michael, when did you first get cool running?
Oh man, early and often. Like I mean, I would have been 10 years old. I vividly remember Jumanji in the theater with my grandmother. I kind of remember this in the theater. Like I remember popcorn. I remember my shoes sticking to the floor and that being like a new sensation as a kid. And like I think I even like it more now than I ever have. Like it resonates more now than it ever did. It was good and kind of funny then, but I don't know that I like understood it. And now with like John Candy and the music and I forget that it's Disney. I almost forget that it's Disney. Like I really enjoy it.
Usually it's Ian with the metaphors. But I will say this is a film that aged like an incredible wine. Like it was a bottle of wine that was great the year it was hatched. But now it's 30 years later, and every year you go back and take a sip, and you're like, "Oh my God, this is the best tasting wine that 1993 ever fucking saw." This is just want to sip on this all day, and I don't even drink, and I'm like romanticizing like a glass of wine.
Well,
It's a great bottle of Sutter
the
Farm.
John Candy thing too, right? Like it's not the last one,
for sure.
but it's the last one while he's alive, so he got to see it, right? He didn't get to see Wagons East. He didn't get to see those other, like. And he was good. He would have gotten to see himself be good, you know.
What's the one he was directing that was that George Wendt took over?
Canadian Bacon?
No, Ian, you know what I'm talking about, where he's like he fakes his own kidnapping, or there's like someone
Hostage
fakes
for a day.
Hostage for a day. Thank you. I knew you would fucking remember.
And what, it didn't get finished or something?
No, it got finished, but it went straight to television. And I think it was probably going there anyways. But
it's crazy, Chris, that you say that. Like, and honestly, a lot of it because of the show. Like, I like going back and finding stuff. Anything that was an awesome TV movie, you like can't get your hands on it. There's no way to get that.
Talk to me after class. I have the excellent resource for you. And I'll bring this
professor. You're the.
I'll bring this to the people next week, but I don't want to cite it wrong. There's a website though out there. I shit you not, folks. You can get everything from the made-for-TV Babyface Nelson movie starring C. Thomas Howell and Lisa Zane and Martin Cove to Wish Man from 1983 starring a pre-Terminator, pre-Beauty and the Beast Linda Hamilton, and everything in between. Like if it happened on television, you want behind the camera the fucking Charlie's Angels story, they've got it, and you can get it for download and for disc. It's incredible. I want to say something like tvmovies dot something. I don't know. I'll hit you with the link next week though. Remind me in the chat, folks. Somebody. But yeah, we're way off rails.
I don't watch any TV movie if it doesn't involve Ian Thomas or what's his name?
Thomas Ian Griffith. Oh,
yeah,
he played
that's
Rock
the one.
Hudson. He played Rock Hudson.
No. There's one on HBO. What was it called?
An HBO movie?
It was an HBO with him, and it was him with Donald Sutherland, Tia Carrera. It's an action movie.
It sounds like Excessive Force or something. Ulterior Motives, like one of those.
All right, for our fans out there, because we don't have time to look it up.
yes, Thomas Ian
I didn't mean
Griffith
to get
fans.
us off track.
No, not at all.
I never get off
glad
track for an HBO Thomas Ian Griffith movie.
That's okay.
That's
I mean,
cool.
let's be real.
I just thought all those TV movies were just like out in the ether, you know, because they never
That
had
doesn't
physical
get
media.
That's not considered. That's not considered TV movie. HBO.
No, that's
I'll tell you
true.
what, you can even get the original 90210 with that before they replaced the music. and that's something I need to get. It's on my to-do list because I'm sick of hearing temp tracks in there. But what about Mickey? What, this was maybe a McDate? I think it could have been a McDate. No.
No. This is I actually didn't see this till later, like on HBO or something like that. Because like I just for some reason it just didn't like I don't know why. I mean, like maybe like it just didn't hit me. I think Demolition Man had can't come out after this or whatever like that. I believe in the theaters. But so I saw
wasn't
that.
old enough for that one. Yeah.
Oh God,
So
Demolition Man, such a great
Yeah, I saw that in the theaters. But I think at that time, I think movie wise, I was more like wanting to see like action or something along those lines or whatever.
Not based on a true story of some random.
I think that's what started my whole like as far as like well you don't go to the movies to go see a comedy or go see like a drama or whatever like that. You go see like an action or whatever like that. The rest you watch on VCR or video or whatever the case may be. I think that was like starting to form in my mind a little bit in some sense.
Mickey was the Netflix before Netflix was a thing.
He went for the cinematography,
Exactly. But I mean, I saw this on HBO, and then I I had to watch it like all the time. Like this was like one like you would talk about like coming in the middle of it, you still watch it. Coming in towards like 10 minutes left, you still watch it, and then it's like I just gotta watch this movie, and then I just rewatched it today, and like I was telling Kyle 2.0, I'm sitting there going like, this movie is like it makes me cry, it makes me laugh. It's like it's one of those like movies. It hits me harder today because of John Candy.
Yeah.
Like I'm like that. Like to me, it's like there is a generation of kids, adults, whatever like that will never get to know John Candy as we did. Then that makes me like I sit and think about that, and I'm like, oh my God, like this man
I'll
was
tell you what.
a treasure. He was a treasure. He's like literally like
this.
I can't even imagine what he would be doing today. Like he would be like so awesome.
I know
today.
he would have won an Oscar. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh yeah,
John Candy would have done a role.
Only the lonely. Like
he would have gotten an Oscar for something.
There are movies that I don't even love that he did that I will watch just because of him. Like I don't think the one where he loses memory or whatever, and like
Delirious.
Yeah, I'm like that movie's fine, but like I love him in that movie. I really don't like.
I talk about this a lot. If you want to know like what the real '80s was like, it's not all the giant mega hits. It's movies like Delirious. It's movies like Better Off Dead. It's like the Candy and Cusack, like blue collar, like hit movies. Like they're base hits. They weren't home runs at the box office, but they got on base. They rounded to like second on video. They like rounded third. You know what I mean? Like
there is this thing in baseball: 2-out hits will get you to heaven. Like there's 2 outs
like that
hit.
You have some movies that got forgotten.
And what was the dirt bike kid? Somebody hit a player right in the ass. And got on base. That's what that is.
If you really want to go deep, you gotta go with the Fat Boys Delirious. Like if that's like that Delirious is
the Fat Boys. Come on,
Disorderly, you fool.
Disorderly, yes. Oh man,
I had the Delirious
Fat
stuck
Boys
in my head.
starring Delirious.
And wasn't there a movie
Disorderlies is awesome.
Disorderlies is awesome. We should do Disorderlies on this show.
That may be in line for a rapid redux. I don't know if the people could take an hour of Disorderlies.
Let me ask you guys something though. Just because I watched it a couple months ago.
Nobody could take an hour of that movie. They all left the theater.
Summer Rental. Where are we?
Summer Rental.
Summer.
Oh,
I don't love it. I don't love it.
Candy has no love.
That's because you're a communist.
Richard Crenna is perfection. Cary Green is amazing. Yeah,
Rip Torn,
the weird topless neighbor. Like, there's so much perfection in that movie.
The reason
Daddy, I peed the bed. It's okay. It wasn't our bed.
Oh, the movie. By the way, Mike, the movie guy in the chat says the movie that you were referring to with Thomas Ian Griffith is Hollow Point. So thank you, Mike, the movie guy. I see you. I see you in the live chat.
Hollow Point is such a good movie.
Mike, the movie guy knows. He knows.
So let's see.
Oh,
since we're going
bless
to
you,
the
man.
live chat, we're going there a little bit early.
No, that's
before we
great.
get-
Ian asked the live chat for an answer, and they gave it to
I
him.
did,
That's
and
what
our
that's
fans never
perfect.
disappoint. This is what. Come on,
So
I love
let's see who's in the live chat today. I see we got Angie Saunders, the mashup genius, Monica Thyman, our favorite Swede from across the pond, Whiskey 401, the great Alex Bonafonte, Oscar Toronzo himself, Super Cow Poop Man. Wow, that is a new one. Thank you for joining in. Mikey Riffraff, the other mashup genius, Caitlin Altman, America's Next Top Model, Cobra Kai Never Dies, the great Joanne. I believe it's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Joanne.
Happy birthday!
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope we keep you entertained to a birthday-worthy level. Dustin from Retro Fiend Radio, Sean Ellis, and Mike in the chat so far. And that is the Mike Movie Guy. Let's see. Angie Saunders says Tupac auditioned for a role, obviously
Yes.
didn't get it. Wow.
Yep.
I have that in my trivia. Yeah.
There
Hey,
are a lot
you
of
know-
movies that somehow Tupac didn't get, like Higher Learning. I don't know how he lost out on Higher Learning, but I love the great Ice
Do you
Cube.
know why?
don't know, ask
Candy's
Biggie.
wearing that hat? Like it's a weird hat, right? It's like the hat of Calgary. It's like the hat that they wear there. It was like a, it's like a cultural thing. I read that. I was like,
Like a
that's cool.
quilted
Candy looks
beret?
really good in that hat. Just
I
like pop culture
want-
punk.
I want to live in a world where I see the actual video footage of Tupac's reading for audition tape.
Oh, I would love to see all the
Oh my
all the
God.
What do you
auditions
think he was
didn't get.
auditioning for?
Well,
Oh,
he
he
had to
would
be a
have to.
Jamaican.
Well, no,
No,
it
I
would have
know,
to be
but-
Therese. I think it would have to be Therese. Yeah.
And he'd be the sprinter, and he'd run a lot.
I mean, I guess he could have been Yul Brenner. He's tough enough to have been.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I would say Yul
You know?
Brenner. I would say Yul
Yeah,
Brenner.
Definitely,
Yul,
definitely
that's
not
good.
Junior, and definitely not Sanka.
No, not
You
Junior.
know.
Although I love Junior. I think he's so wholesome. You know, his arc is pretty good.
But I read
But
I
I-
read that he wasn't even an actor. He was he was the dialect coach and he got the gig.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Is that
Yeah,
right?
like I think I read that where he was in the Wikipedia or whatever like that.
I mean,
he
I
got
knew
the
they
role.
had,
He was
like-
a dialect coach.
I knew they had like wild casting ideas going into this. You know, they said like Denzel or you know Cuba or like anybody that could fit the role.
This movie, you know, it has there's a lot of things in this movie that like shouldn't work, but like work incredibly well.
Yeah.
Like cutting to a bar full of people watching TV screen should not work.
Should
But
not
like
work.
when you cut to them and like, where are these guys from? And the whole bar is Jamaica. Like it's one of the most fucking feel good moments of the 90s.
like when
hands
Chris,
fucking
like when
down.
he's there's no real romance arcs. There kind of is early. And
Yeah.
remember when he's kissing all the girls and then his girlfriend is
Yeah.
there? It's like, we gotta talk, you know?
Yeah, she's giving him the stern, the arms
That
crossed.
shouldn't work
and-
either because they don't come back together at the end and like make out or whatever. That isn't even needed. She's just at the bar.
But yeah,
He
and
didn't
then
even
like
get to go.
but it works because they cast the one woman is so memorable who's you know when Teresa's like girlfriend says like, oh, he better watch his mouth, and she says, oh, he better watch more than that, and like the way she gives that line, more than that, is like so perfect.
Yeah.
And she's in every shot. Every time they cut back to that fucking bar, they cut back to Jamaica, they cut to her every single fucking time. Sometimes you get the kids, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get like the old man at the
mother,
table, sometimes you don't. You always get that woman. And it's like one of my favorite extras forever since I was a little kid. But also in the chat, let's see. Oscar says, I saw this, in fact, at school, video evening, no class on VHS in Amsterdam, Holland, with all my classmates. We had a good time, good memories, and laughs. Oh, that's a heartwarming one.
Good.
Monica Thyman saw us on TV. I like that it was a true story. It's a fun movie to watch. Well, you know, I think it's not the Swedes, but it's like, yeah, the Swiss villains of this.
Swiss.
Like, you guys are the bad guys. Monica. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, they were actually the good guys, the Swiss. It was the Germans.
They
that were
come
the-
around. They give you the slow
Yeah.
clap, you know. You
Yeah.
know, I guess
Well,
this is back in the days when like all is forgiven if you join the slow clap at the end. You're like, oh, I don't care what a shit you were to Corey Haim for the last hour and a half. It's all good now.
Yeah.
Hung up on
I
Well, we
saw-
figured
I-
out
I-
Tupac audition. Do you guys know who wrote it or wrote part of it anyway? Since
that I
it's
do
written
not.
on my screen. Michael Ricci, the director, not the same spelling. He's
Really?
in there as a writer, yeah, and it's weird because
wow.
it's like one of the only things he really wrote, and I think he was in to direct it for a bit, and something
Yeah, and then
happened
they-
or whatever.
yeah.
Because the actual writer, like for what was released, says there was like one line he didn't write, and he says that line is, you know, Sanka, you dead. That's like the only thing he didn't write. So it's
Oh,
tough to
wow.
know exactly. It's a Disney movie, right? So they're not going to like give that away. But I always thought his
Yeah.
involvement was interesting. I mean, we like him on the show and
Of
his
course,
involvement.
yeah.
And we talked about the way the story arcs are like different and it hits different. And it kind of feels like his stamp is there somewhere, somehow, you know? And not the same spelling, no relation whatsoever. But in my career, every now and then someone's like, oh, you directed that movie. And I'm like, no, I didn't.
Like, yeah, I was just graduating grade school and just felt like fuck it, you know, might as
Yeah,
well.
I'm like Benjamin
what
Button
else
over
did
here. I'm
Michael
just getting
Ricci
better,
direct?
you know? No, but I thought that was cool.
The
That
Golden
was something
Child,
that-
right?
What?
And
Did
Michael
he do
Michael
Fletch?
Ricci of the Golden Child, right?
Yeah, and Fletch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
Fletch,
Gold
he
Child.
did Fletch,
And-
right,
yeah,
right, okay, yeah.
yeah.
I was like,
I
I
make
never
this
know
joke
why
a lot,
Michael Ricci
guys.
movie.
This is not the first time I made this joke.
No, I know. Well, we've referenced him before, and I wanted to make sure that it was.
I don't remember
indeed.
yesterday. What do you
Yeah.
go
Oh, I
on,
know.
Michael?
Nowadays.
All right. Well, do you remember the
What do
gas
you want from me,
station?
Steve?
Do you remember the gas station which you found Cool Runnings in?
I know. You know what's funny is because I remember. I think I've talked about this before. Like I can remember every movie I saw in theaters as a kid because I didn't go very often. You know, most of my movies were HBO or USA Up All Night or the library. But I remember going to see this in the theater. I there's a part of me, and I could be lying, but I want to say this is part of a 4-H club, field trip where my cousins and I and a couple other members of the 4-H troop we went to go to the movies to see it. But I do remember being in the theater and seeing it and enjoying it and really liking it, and because I was a John Candy fan. I mean, Great Outdoors was part of my childhood.
Oh
growing
yeah,
up.
100%.
Spaceballs, and so any chance to see John Candy,
I can't believe we haven't done Great Outdoors yet on this show. By the way, I just want to throw that out there. And if you in the chat feel so inclined, let us know if you
I
like
think we
Great
need to
Outdoors
do
episode.
I would be down to do like a whole month or whatever like that of John Candy movies or whatever like that or something.
Well, we've peppered them in. We've peppered a few in so far.
No, here's why.
But yeah,
Here's why I'm
we
gonna.
could
Here's why I'm gonna
we could
vote
definitely
this
do that.
down because I know you all are jerks. All right, I know every single one of you, and I know who you are, and I know where you.
He's gonna pull out some weird movie that he's gonna.
And you're not going to include. Shut up, Chris. You're not going to actually do Wagons East because you're scumbag.
Oh fucking.
Oh no.
And I refuse to do anything unless you address Wagons East.
No man,
I'll address it. I'll address it all right. You want me to address it? I'll address it all right.
He's gone too.
I'll tell you something. It's no Wagons West with Suge Knight and Tupac. That I know. I know that for sure.
Good God.
That's the real Wagons
That's
West.
the real wagon. That's the real Wagons ride, my friend.
West Side.
Oh God! All right, this officially
Whole
became the
world has
whitest
gone
episode
down
of
the
VCR Redux
tubes.
ever.
All right, let's get some more culture in here, right? How
Yes.
do they know this in Norway? What is the title of this in Norway?
Oh
Cold
God!
buttocks.
Please tell us.
Who knew it was Cold Buttocks is the name of this.
Cold buttocks, really?
And then in France, Rasta Rocket, which is much cooler, I think, than Cool Runnings in some way. But
Wait,
my only thing with
Rasta Rocket.
yeah, and you go see this in France.
That's a
and you're
great
seeing
title,
Rasta
actually.
Rocket. Yeah, it's a great title. It's a
So,
good title.
so I want to know when they changed the line instead of Cool Runnings. What does it mean? Peace be the journey. Rasta Rocket. What does it mean?
No, the
we're gonna
Rasta
cut away
Rocket-
to.
It's the
Wasn't
push cart.
Rasta
It's the push
Rasta
cart.
I
Rocket
know
was a
that.
push card?
You
know
say
that.
that line, and it cuts to the music from Curb Your Enthusiasm. What's that mean?
And Ian, and you just took it white again. You just had to go whitest mother out there.
All right. So I will say for me, this is one I did not get to see in theaters. I got to see this one on video. This was rented it the first day it came out. Took it home, watched it in my dad's office because when you're a little kid, you just like watch things in weird places sometimes. And I remember I would wheel this desk chair in front of like a 20-inch tube TV and just sit there in like the dark, and
I specifically remember doing that, Chris, with the movie Toys. My mom was at
and you're
work,
like a little kid, so like you can like sit with your feet on the chair and shit, you know what I
and
mean?
you
The
can
chair.
literally have your face right up against it if you want. Like when
100%.
you're a
Oh my
kid, they're
God.
like, don't sit too close.
This
so
is
I
why
gotta
we're all
sit
wearing
way
glasses.
too close.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Sorry, I'm blind.
You know, that just reminds me. How did we ever know when videos came out, like the opening day or the day that was going to be on the shelves?
So, if you remember, there was this glorious thing
Marketing,
that
man.
Blockbuster had and record stores had.
Yeah,
When you were
yeah.
checking out, there was a little plaque behind the fucking counter guy, and it would say like "coming next week" or "coming this month," and you'd be like, "Oh man, fucking like Lethal Weapon 3 is coming out in fucking 2 weeks, pop! Like, we're gonna get
Yeah.
that, you know."
Yep.
Lethal Weapons in my mind.
Tuesdays
It
were
was-
always new video release
Yep.
day.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
For some
I don't know,
odd-
you know,
for some
sadly,
odd
it's like none of
reason,
that fucking matters now. It breaks my heart to think that you know, we were all so poor for the last 10 years that we couldn't afford to buy Blu-rays and 4Ks, and now everyone's gonna stop making them. It's just a awful dystopian future we live in. But let's get out of that and get into Cool Runnings land, because this movie, I was actually having a really stressful day at work, and I rewatched this today, and I was like, you know what? I feel great for this 90 minutes. Like this is this is kind of like a little bit of chicken soup for me right now. This feels
Oh,
excellent.
for sure.
That's why I'm glad I watched it yesterday.
I mean,
it made
it's
my
not
day
just the-
better yesterday.
It's not
There
just
you
the movie. I think that is any John Candy movie. I don't think I have ever sat down to watch
Yeah,
even
you're true.
JFK. I'll throw JFK in there. All right. I know that seems weird, but if I see John Candy, I can be
Yeah.
happy. I
Yeah.
can. I
Well, I'll
can
tell you
literally-
what. You know, his performance in this is really overshadowed by, I don't know, like the whole, you know, what someone said in the chat is the like based on a true story marketing gimmick. I don't know what elements are true. You know, obviously it's a true story, but like I don't know how much they dramatize it. But he has a great, one of his best acting scenes ever is when he goes and he storms against the, you know, Alliance or whatever. And it's one of those scenes that's not really written that great, but an actor that you love like John Candy can take that and make it real. And it's like you buy this whole backstory that's very like,
Yeah.
it's paid very little lip service, you know,
I would go
and it
one
really
further,
sells
Chris,
it all.
because he delivers 2 back-to-back speeches. He does the Alliance and all that, and then he does the Gipper after that, and they're 2 completely different things that achieve every goal, and they're really well acted and written and delivered. And I can't find a lot of other places in cinema where an actor does that.
Well, the one that gets me, I
Excellent
mean,
point.
like I said, like that's like John Candy just had that ability. He can make you laugh and he can make you cry,
Yeah.
and everything in between, basically. But the speech that he gives to Leon's character, basically, and you know, talking about like, you know, like you just have to think about if you're good enough. You have to be good enough before, you know, you win a medal.
I know that
That's
speech is
like,
a little weird, but it's
Dude,
good.
No, that's a great line. Yeah. If you're
that's a
not enough
great-
without it, you'll never be enough with it.
Yeah.
exactly.
Although Mickey, I'll give you one type of scene I don't want to see John Candy in. Maybe you all do, but like a sex scene, I don't really need a John Candy sex scene. And he'd probably make it well, but I don't know. Like Chris Farley tried to do that too, and it's just like
I don't think
Well,
they're
well, I mean, do you mean just a romantic, intimate scene?
Wait a
or
minute,
like-
wait a minute. We got a John Candy sex scene in The Great Outdoors, mind you. He's Bert, the horny Smokey's cousin or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd comes in filming them. That's
yeah,
classic
okay,
right there.
okay.
We don't
It
even have a
works.
toilet seat. Buck found it. It was in
Good
the
enough for
back
yeah. On the porch. Interesting, makes you wonder, doesn't it? Yeah.
I'm more just picking it John Candy, you know, because we love him so much. I mean, I guess we gotta give some flowers to the other actors in this movie too.
Oh, I need to.
Oh my
we
God,
need to
Leon
address
is incredible. I don't know how Leon
Dougie
didn't
Doug.
do more.
Dougie Doug. I'm
Dougie
sorry, but I he was in a show whose name we probably can't say, but he was the co-star of that show, and man, I used to watch that show just to see, you know, Dougie Doug.
Dougie Doug.
Dougie Doug
Dougie
was
Doug.
hilarious.
Class act was the thing, and then he also was on that
He
show
was
like
in
hanging
Class
with the
Act with the
homeboys.
lollipop.
Yep.
Oh my!
Yep, with
With
the
the
lollipop.
lollipop.
One
Yep,
lick, one lick, one lick. You know, with Mr. Frog. Hey Froggy, hey Froggy.
Oh man, that's good.
Oh
But
man,
Dougie
yeah,
Doug-
he is
Dougie
another
Doug-
90s icon for sure. Yeah.
Also, though,
I hate
in this
you.
film, the music, Jimmy Cliff's version of "I Can See Clearly Now" hits top 40 like everywhere. I remember that song a lot, and it's still a good
I
song.
will say this is a really good Hans Zimmer score as well. Very underrated work by Hans Zimmer.
Which who knew? Who knew? Hans Zimmer. Yeah.
Well, I
Clearly
like
the
the shit
filmmakers
he
did.
did way before, like before the Dark Knight
Well,
shit.
yeah.
That shit's like kind of pretentious to me, where you're just sort of like holding on a note for a vibe, where it's just like the Joker robs a bank and the whole time it's just like, wow. Oh, it's not that interesting to me musically.
I thought there was gonna be another note.
I was waiting too. I was like,
Yeah, that was more of like a brown note or something.
But that's kind of like the way his scores sound. They just kind of like hold on one note. Maybe there'll be like a string 2-note thing in the background or something, but that's what they became. I prefer the Danny Elfman kind of Batman type of score. But anyway, we are at the half-hour mark, so it is time for our pitches. This is one of the most unpitchable movies. I love.
Listen, I said this today to a friend. They asked what movie we're doing today, and I said we're doing Cool Runnings. And the first thing out of the mouth is, how the hell are you going to do a sequel to Cool Runnings? And I said this is probably the first show. We've had some. Listen to our audience out there. Chris and I,
Wonderful Life, Forrest Gump,
said,
Jerry
I don't know how we're
Maguire.
gonna do this.
Brawl almost killed
and
me.
then we've pulled
What almost
something
killed
out of
us?
our.
You got crawled.
Like
crawled,
but
yes.
how do you do a sequel? And the only thing I can think of, I'll be honest, the only thing that came to my mind, all right, is if you did the actual true story.
Yeah.
Now I
That
don't
wouldn't
know.
be a sequel.
I don't know if I don't know at the end if they actually like lifted their bobsleds and walked across.
No, they walked beside it. They walked beside it.
No. So a couple of things here. Start from the beginning. In real life, they were in the military. They were not Olympians already. They were in the military, and that's where it came from. And that's like one of the biggest departures. They did have support. And when they got to the Olympics, everybody liked them. Everybody was cool. Everybody liked them. No problems.
Yeah, I didn't think that it was
the footage in the film, other than the
crash,
crash, is the real crash, and the Olympians just pushed the cart to the end, and that was kind of how all that went. And Irv, I don't know, Irv is like way different, and the dynamic is way different. But like a lot of the beats are there, and they just switched some stuff. Okay, nobody liked them, and okay, they carried across. I mean. I don't know. So what if it's not the true story? That's okay. Yeah,
I think it was.
I
way
mean, you
better
have to
to
dramatize things. Life isn't a movie. You take a book, you turn that into a movie. Books aren't movies. Comic books aren't movies.
Yeah.
So to take real life and turn it into a movie is like one of the
and
trickiest
Ian, your
things
friend
ever.
asked, and I have one word answer to any question we have tonight: Disney. That's the answer to any question here. How could anyone make a sequel to this? Disney. Could you make a sequel? Disney. Like the only reason why we don't want them to, and we're saying you can't, is because John Candy's gone. But they could and they would. They've made animated movies that
like, could you actually do
live action?
Could you do Cool Runnings too? And I'm not going to lie to you. I thought, and I do this a lot. I see that 1998 VHS Disney direct to video on the shelf of Cool Runnings 2, starring not John Candy, but like. It does.
The famous Jet Jackson.
It stars George Wendt.
Lee Thompson Young, my man, I love him.
Who was a big Disney? Who was a big Disney guy in the?
I think you could have had. You could have had.
Robert Carradine is the coach because he was the dad.
Okay, sorry, Mickey. Before I forget, I know who it is. It's the guy who does the voice of Earl on Dinosaurs.
Oh my God! Yes, I know. He's in Mannequin 2. He's the boss in Mannequin 2 on the move. Yes! Command, respect, deplore, neglect.
That guy.
And you just did that so Chris could talk about Mannequin 2.
Oh, of course, we're on the fucking move now, friends. This is going to be a good day.
It's Mannequin 2 on the rocks.
Stop with that on the rock shit. It's not Arthur 2. God, get out of here with your Arthur 2.
That's Arthur 2.
But that's who it is. It's not Mandy Patinkin, but it's like Mandy something or is it?
Movie guy Mike, I know you're in the chat. Hitting us with the red pen. I know you'll put it there.
He's the direct to video John Candy version. Because they couldn't afford John Candy. So
but why couldn't you have a sequel and a new bobsled team and the coach is Doris? It's Leon's character.
Sure,
he's the coach.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. I love it. Yeah,
been there before. Dougie Doug is still his friend, so you can have Dougie Doug.
Yep.
The other two, you don't really need. I mean, like, as much as they were cool, they were part of it. If you have Doris as the coach and you have Dougie Doug kind of like the second coach, whatever like that, you have a new bobsled team. They're going to the Olympics. This is the year that, like they've been going since that time, but like now, fast forward, they've never won a gold. Whether they have in real life, I don't know. But let's say they have never won a gold. This year, like Doris finds like this kid, and he finds a team that like they can get the gold, and they actually finally achieve the gold. And Doris is the head coach, and it's all in the loving memory of his coach
dad.
Irv.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my
his
God.
dad.
And
Doris's
his dad. So
Kid me?
then you have the last scene, the picture on the wall is like, like John Candy, like, and then you have like maybe the credits say like, in loving memory of John Candy or whatever.
Yeah,
it
just
may
like
be.
the end of the first one. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Oh,
you have and you literally have like, Doris with, the new, and Dougie Doug with the new bobsled team.
I'm
And
drooling. Take my
maybe-
money now. I love it.
Okay.
Maybe in the meantime, Doris is a little distressed somehow the way John Candy was, and we really keep with the spirit that Candy isn't
Oh,
the
yeah,
squeaky
he's-
clean, right? He's
Oh
actually
yeah,
might
Doris.
be the
Yeah, he
reason.
fell on hard times. Yeah,
Maybe,
I
maybe
like that.
yeah,
Maybe he didn't make the team 4 years later. Maybe they went it without him, and there's a story
I also
there.
like your pitch,
Backstory.
Vicky, because my base pitch was going to be more like off of what has happened in real life, and I did a little research there, but basically like they continue to go back and
Yeah.
compete, and they don't really win much. At one point, they finished like 10th or something. But more recently, they have a whole federation, the Jamaican Bobsled Federation. Like they have money for this, they do this. The women have been competing. So it's 2025. So you gender swap it,
I like
and it's
that.
John Candy's daughter. It's
Cool
Irv's
women's,
daughter.
yes.
It's Doris's daughter. It's the whole thing. Maybe Doris was disgraced. Like I would just, I mean, I don't want to steal your pitch, but I would just fold some of that into what you got, and then you're going with real life. And if it's really still based on a true story, and you could still put based on a true story, the continuing story, I think there's something there. It's at least faithful to the spirit of the original.
All right.
I love that.
I like
love that.
Mickey's idea. Let me pitch this.
Robert Downey Jr.
No.
Yeah, it's already getting razzed for it.
Let me pitch this before I go back to Mickey's because I do like Mickey's idea.
And then
we
we
gotta
gotta
have live
get.
chat too. We gotta get to the live chat.
I know.
Yes.
But all right. So it's fast forward. It's 1998. Okay, and there's a bunch of kids who really watched, who watched it. They want to honor. They're from Jamaica. They're really into it. But I don't know that they already got the team. So these kids were denied, and so they're like, all right, we're gonna start our own thing. And they do find another Olympic sport, but they need training on it. So they go to America and they find another coach, and his name is Mitchell.
Oh.
Born running.
Oh,
Oh.
look at
You're stealing
What's
it.
the pearls?
You're
He's
Oh
doing
my
it, Peter.
God.
You're doing it,
He's
Peter.
got one. He's
See this,
got one.
Mike? It has been dropped.
Now you're
Wow.
doing it. Wow.
Well, now Chris, you got to bring his pitch. Which
I was
which-
here
That
the
would be
moment.
X Games.
I feel like all the invisible food just turned into like Nestle's, Hershey's, Technicolor, Sweet Dream, and the meal and Hook.
You
just
tasting that,
appeared
Sean
before
Gold?
my
Are you
eyes.
tasting it? Because I'm tasting it. It's called
He's
Victory.
got a pitch for you. I'll read
It's-
it, Chris, if you
It's
want me to
banging
read
right.
it.
All right. Gold's Code's got one, so let's go.
Yeah,
with
that's
it.
what I'm saying. He's got one.
I know. So in Gold's Code's pitch, the team goes to Ohio to train, only to discover the battle between Mitchell and the Preps. Now they must blade and bobsled down Devil's Backbone in Coolborn.
Coolborn.
Ooh, we have
Nice.
competing Coolborn
Nope,
versus
Born
Born
Runnings.
Runnings.
Sorry.
Oh, I love them both.
All right.
But
Nope.
ice cold adventure awaits either way.
And I'll just throw this out there as a potential topic that I was thinking of because I found a list online: best movies with "cool" in the title, and I would argue that this is actually the best, but I would want also Cool World on that list.
What a
Because
cartoon
I actually like that
bobsledding
movie.
team.
What?
Bonk. Jamaicans don't have sex with bonks, you doodle.
as they go down,
Why
That's
don't you
pretty
go back
good.
to Cool
That's pretty
World, you
good.
doodles?
as they go down the ice ramp, Brad Pitt shooting a gun at them. Like that's it.
Oh my God.
No,
Oh,
there's
God,
no
was
there's
so
no better title
crazy,
than Cool as
but
Ice. There's
I
no other
would
movie
like-
cooler than Cool as Ice. All
Cool-
right?
okay.
Ice.
God, Cool as Ice
That's
is
another
pretty
one on the
amazing.
list.
This
What
is
else
it.
is on that list? With
That's
Cool
why I
in
wanted
the
to call this one
title?
Hot
There's
as
another one.
Ice.
Oh, that would have been
Well,
awesome.
there's another
like
one
that
in the,
movie
there's another one
Beat
that's live chat though. I will say, Whiskey 4, when the great Alex Bonafonte, filling his tradition, a slimy, handsy coach is brought out of retirement for the Russian women's team. He doesn't mind sabotaging competitors' bobsleds so long as he gets on Piers Morgan. Steven Seagal in Con Runnings. Oh,
Why
pretty
haven't
goddamn
we
good.
had
I
an
like you worked the
Olympic-
Russian
Have
angle
we
in
had
there.
an Olympic action movie? Is that a thing?
Well, no, I never
Um,
said. I don't think
No,
so.
but we did have Olympic action in the greatest Bond film of all time, On Her Majesty's Secret
On Her
Service.
Majesty's
That's
Secret
true.
Service.
The
That's how
best with
Blofeld
the
died.
greatest Bond ever, George Lazenby.
I don't know
Only-
about greatest ever. I watched Live and Let Die the other night, and that was pretty good.
Oh, you can't beat Roger Moore, but George
Oh
Lazenby
God!
does
What?
not
Where the fuck am
deserve-
I? What communist shit is this? No, Roger Moore. That's like the diet vanilla caffeine free Connery.
I don't know.
film.
It's got a young James
Did it
Seymour.
quench your thirst? It sure did mine. The
Fuck
point
that.
is,
No, it
George
made me
Lazenby
thirsty
is
for-
actually pretty good and does not deserve the rap that he gets.
Made me thirsty for a real Bond like Lazenby. That's what it made me thirsty for.
Oh my God,
You
Lazenby. I
gotta
thought you were
go
gonna-
back. I'll tell you what. Here's an interesting thing in the live chat though. A request for a VCR Redux for Camp Nowhere, and I have been trying.
He really
I've been
has.
pushing.
I will vouch for this. This man.
I have been pushing for
Camp
the fucking.
Nowhere.
I want a whole summer camp thing. I want us to do like Sleepaway Camp, Camp Nowhere, heavyweights.
Meatballs.
We already did meatballs,
I
so we'll have to
know.
do it something else. We'll have to do like.
Ian will
bump
have
juice
you
or
do
something.
every individual meatball.
Oh,
He
yeah,
would.
please, let's do an episode
so
on
What's this other
Meatballs-
ones that movie
Meatballs
Mike's
3
talking
Summer
about?
Job. Please.
Clown Murders with John Candy. I didn't know.
I'm not familiar with that one. I saw that
There
in
was
the chat as well.
there. My public domain.
Oh, and it's Pankin, who you guys were thinking of, by the
Andy
way.
Pankin. Andy Pankin.
Andy
That's-
Pankin,
that's it.
yes.
Thank you.
Honey, we shrunk ourselves. Yes, thank you.
There was
Thank you, Mike
two-
Stewart.
There was two
Stewart.
Canadian movies that John Candy did while he was at Second City in Toronto. That they tried to make this like a Bet and Costello team with John Candy and this another officer.
I
And
bet.
it's
Cool,
not-
I bet.
Abbott.
Hey, I bet.
Abbott. They tried to make a comedy team,
That guy.
but here's the
I thought
here's
you
the
were
worst
say
part.
they had a bet. I thought
But they
I thought they-
cut
a
out all
gentleman's
the
bet.
but they cut out all the funny jokes and they made it into a serious movie and tried to release it as The Clown Murders. But it was supposed to be a comedy, but they recut it to be a bad.
Like those fake trailers people make,
Yeah,
when
kind,
they-
I mean, kind of, yeah. They
Yeah.
like recut, and took out of the comedy, but then it was so successful that they did it again. Called It Was a Good Idea at the time, and they left the comedy in a little bit more. But like
it
he
almost
tried,
sounds like a mashup of sorts.
he tried to bury him. Like John Candy was not proud of him,
Yeah.
but because they're in public domain,
What
they
can
got
you
out
do?
there.
Yeah. What can you
I
do?
thought
You
I
know-
heard that before, but I thought it was just like a made up thing. So it actually really exists, and you can watch it.
Yeah, clown. Yeah, it's a good idea at the time, and then I think the other one is the Happy Clown Murder, or what was it?
Yeah, I'm with Mickey though. Stuff like that always sounds funny to me, like a scam.
It's
But was it? What year
No.
was this? Do you
this
know,
is in
or,
the
like-
70s. This is before
70s.
seconds.
Ah.
This is before SCTV.
Yeah.
Or Stripes or any of that stuff.
Like
this
the
is when
Tom
he-
Hanks horror movie kind of thing.
Yeah, this is before anybody knew who he was.
He's in Mazes and Monsters or some shit.
Yeah.
So
Mazes.
getting back to Cool Runnings though, is there like what and again for folks in the live chat, what are the other bonkers pitches you want to see? What are the other like off the rails pitches? Because I mean, you said Olympic action movie, and I already started thinking of like a Die Hard type of scenario.
Yeah,
where
almost like a horror movie or something. Yeah.
you kickboxer this shit. They kidnap Sanka, and they're like, "You better throw the fucking match. You better not get first place, Jamaica." Because
Chris,
That's perfect. The line
you-
over the phone,
or-
the hostage. It instead of a comedic line, it's Sanka, you did.
Yeah, oh my God,
Take
and
all the
that's the
comedic
fucking thing.
lines and make them scary lines instead. The
Oh
kiss
my
the egg,
God!
like
And
they
that's
put
when,
a gun to his head.
And
you have
yeah,
to
and
kiss
when
the egg.
Therese asks Senka if he's dead, he goes, "No, man," and he's like, "These motherfuckers are dead."
Yeah.
And he starts kicking. Oh God, I love this. And it rains blood again. I love it. And the ice turns red.
Only
and-
only if the poster is like what was it, TC 2000 kind of poster?
Yeah,
with all,
TC
like,
2000
with-
with Sanka. Oh yes, dude, I love this, and it's
What if you had
with the
what if you had
bobsled
a,
and the machine
what,
gun.
what if you had like a revenge
Cool Runnings
kind of
Hot
thing?
Bullets, or like
So-
Cool Runnings like Dead Bodies, Cool Runnings the Icy Corpse. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Mickey?
So what if you had like a
here.
revenge plot? Like, so remember they did the race in the beginning. I mean, they were the Yule, Doris, and the other guy. I can't remember his character's name right off the bat. Junior. Anyway, what if they, obviously they went to the bobsled team. They got this whole big thing, whatever like that. But the guys that actually made it to the Olympic 100-meter team, they didn't win gold or anything like that. Jamaica doesn't remember them, doesn't have like that, doesn't like think about them at all.
Junior
because all
never
they could-
falls down, basically.
all they could talk about, no, like he did fall down, but all they could talk about is the fucking bobsled team, right? And they're all pissed off, and they're like, these fools, we beat them in a race, we didn't win the gold. They go to the Olympics with their stupid bobsled team. They're all the love of Jamaica, whatever like that. We should be the ones getting all this love and this and that. So then they go to the Olympics again. Maybe Doris and Dougie Doug are like the coaches or whatever that. They got a new Olympic team, and they're out to get them. So they're like doing everything. They're sabotaging their bobsled. They're like they go to the Olympics just to get like revenge on them. Maybe let's make it even brutal. They shoot one of the kids or one of the new
God, wait,
you got his attention.
Ease it down, bro.
When I say kids, I say kids like one of the bobsled team. I'm not saying kids, but one of the members of the bobsled team, the kids, whatever.
Oh,
So,
I
'cause
got it. I got it.
Yeah.
I
You
got
just you just went from Disney to Hollywood Studios, you jerk.
Dude,
You're
I got
talking
it. I
action.
got it.
Oh no,
You're
I
talking
love it.
action.
Okay, I got
Figure
this
it out,
now.
Chris.
Let me pick this up from you, Mickey, because Mickey turned me on to a brilliant film by the name of Big Shots, and that's where this inspiration comes from.
Big
Now,
shot. What was that?
you remember the three kids that they keep cutting back to at the bar? They're doing the scoreboard
Yeah,
and shit
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
They're watching,
the kids.
laughing at them the whole time.
Those are the kids, right?
Oh,
They
it should be,
kidnapped
yeah.
the whole. They kidnapped the whole Jamaican team at the next Winter Olympics. But those kids are the only thing that can get them back. And the kids gotta like get guns. They gotta like arm themselves. They gotta go and they gotta fucking free the whole team. And they gotta
No, I
like
got it.
action at the
So-
Olympics
so,
with kids. So
you
they
know,
can
they
get to
go
the
to the-
bobsled race.
They go to the Olympic guy and they're like, they submit to be the bobsled team and they need the money, right? And the guy's like, I'm not gonna let you embarrass me and spend all this money and da-da-da. The kids like overheard that. You show like a missing scene where the kids like heard that and they realize there's a lot of money in this and there's like money there. And so that's where they get the that idea to like for hostage and all that. They're like, they're just like,
Now the kids rescue the
they want to
hostage.
get
They
out of
don't-
Jamaica too, just as bad,
I think the kids should rescue the team, though, not kidnap them.
I don't know. I think they hear there's money and
You
they,
want a
like,
house
they,
arrest
like, snuck up the
situation?
plane or something,
House
But the other one I
arrest.
had,
Yeah, Senka's fucking pushcart team gets revenge. Like,
yeah,
go to
because
the
they
Olympics
didn't
without
win
us.
the
This
push
is what
cart
you
thing,
get.
so they didn't get that money.
Remember, he drove him into like a shed or whatever like that.
No, I know he was pretty
Wait a
bad
minute,
with
wait a
them.
minute.
This
I've
sounds
got
like
it.
a 1970s exploitation action
I've
movie.
got I've got two.
yeah.
I've got two possible ones here.
Cool exploitation.
Ooh, I like that. I love that. So two potential ones here. First of all, you just do Fast and the Furious, but it's push cars. It's push car derby,
Nice.
and you just play it
Rasta
straight.
Rocket. You actually
Rasta
make
Rocket,
Rasta
dude. Yeah,
Rocket.
you give fucking Sanka a push car rival, and you just treat this shit like it's like just deathly serious action scenes, like whatever other subplots they have. I don't know if they're gambling or running guns or selling
Sure.
drugs or whatever they
Throw
do
it
in these
all in.
Fast and
Human
Furious
trafficking.
movies.
Throw it
Throw it all
in.
in, dude. Get Rambo shit going on
Good.
in there. Get like
God,
get
people.
crazy with it.
So
Oh,
the other
love
one
it.
I had, right? They got to go all the way
It's
from
soiling
Jamaica to
my
Calgary.
Disney.
But in the time since they competed, climate change has come on, and we need the Jamaican bobsled now to like save the day because everything's like day after tomorrow style. Everything's freezing over,
I love it.
right? And they all have their own individual
went
bobsleds. And they're
woke
like
by going to
Batmobiles,
sleep.
kind of.
They prepared for hell to freeze over, but they didn't
Yes.
prepare for Jamaica to freeze over.
Hot as ice.
That's good. Hot as ice.
as
Yeah, that is
ice.
it. That's pretty goddamn good.
Whiskey 4-1 had a quick one that was
We're
good too.
done with
Cheech and
this
Chong's
show.
Oh, I
Cool
see that,
Runnings.
yeah.
That's pretty good. Cheech and Chong's Cool Runnings. I like that.
Yeah, whiskey, well played, sir.
You just
Chanel-
hotboxing in the thing. You just get in there and you just.
What scenario? Let me ask you this, since we're on it, because I think we did pretty good. But like, what scenario does Cheech and Chong not work in?
Twister.
Think about it. You name a scenario. You name a
Deliverance?
You name a restaurant.
Mallrats? They wouldn't work in Mallrats. There's a simple
Of course
one.
they would work in a mall.
No. A completely different part of the
We had-
country. It doesn't work at all. What
We
are you
kind of
talking
had a romantic movie, a rom-com or whatever.
Moonstruck?
Like with
Cheech and Chong
with,
show up in Moonstruck and they're like,
with Cheech,
Fallout
Cheech
Man
gets
is very
shrimp on
romantic.
shrimp on a Barbie.
Even the Barbie. Born in East
Shrimp
LA
on a
has
Barbie.
romance too. Oh,
Crocodile
Born in East
Dundee.
LA.
You
He's
put,
legit.
listen, you put
Pixel bunnies.
Cheech and Chong. You can put Cheech and Chong, and you can put Ernest in any scenario, and it works. You can put
And
Ernest.
Pee-wee, you're right.
You can put Ernest in
No, he's right.
bobsledding.
You can't put Ernest in a romantic movie.
Yes,
You
you
might
can.
be
Fuck yes, you
about
could.
Cheech and
If you
Chong,
could do it
but
for
you're not
Pee-wee,
right
you
about
could do it for
Ernest.
Ernest.
Yeah, no.
No, you can't. No,
Oh
you
yes, you
Come on,
can.
come
You
on,
100% can.
Ernest in Manhattan. Like it
Ernest in
works.
Love.
No,
Ernest
but
in
you're
Love.
saying
Yeah.
put him in the movie. Like, okay, Ernest in the movie Traffic. Like, no, he's not doing heroin. Like, what are you talking about?
No,
Oh,
but
fuck
he's
yeah, he
busting
is.
people and he's
Ernest is
rescuing
spiking
those
up, and
kids.
He's turning into different junkies. Like, whoa, my day.
You know
We
why?
used to
No,
shoot
Michael.
our
You know how it
needles in
works?
the
Because
arm,
he'll come in as the old lady with a gun. Like
Yeah.
this trafficking does not work.
Ian, we can't do the
I
roles
sold
because
my
of the beard.
firstborn baby for a head of heroin, mind you.
So here's the thing: if Ernest was still alive, I can pitch you this, and I would hate this movie entirely, and I would never watch it. But
God,
you know
yeah,
how
I
you
know where
have
you're going.
you have Freddy versus Jason. How about Ernest versus Medea?
Oh, Ernest versus Pee-wee would be the movie.
Ernest
But
versus
I thought
Cheech
you were gonna
versus
pitch.
Chong.
I thought you were gonna pitch Jim
Hold-
Varney
hold- hold-
as.
hold-
What about
hold on,
Jim
hold
Varney
on.
as a coach for Cool Runnings too?
Shut your dirty t-shirt wearing mouth. That is the greatest idea in the history of cinema.
God,
Oh,
I
God.
forgot that you're like
Mickey, what have
soaking
you
wet
done?
for
What have
Medea
you
for some
done?
reason.
I
don't
love
know why.
Medea. I love Medea. You give me a Medea movie, I am there opening day.
What is happening, Christopher?
Okay,
What is
like,
happening?
I don't
Ian turns
care.
into a water slide whenever anyone mentions fucking Medea
Oh.
for some reason.
Oh,
I don't know why. Look at him. He's just
Oh,
fucking
Tyler
melted.
Is that who would
Take-
do Cool Runnings too? Tyler
Take,
Perry?
oh my God, Medea and Cool
oh,
Runnings.
don't give him
Oh.
ideas.
I
I
gotta
got
now.
it.
do
because
that.
Chris, the
Don't
only
do
way
that,
out
'cause
is through. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't watch a Tyler Perry Cool Runnings. I wouldn't watch Tyler Perry anything.
Mickey,
I'll
I'm
watch
100%
it.
with you, but you opened Pandora's box. You
Oh
said
my
you would never watch it and
gosh.
you hate it and you pitched it anyway.
Medea
I
is
mean,
the
if you
coach?
are going with the action-packed shit, I
Oh.
do kind of want to see Medea with the fucking Uzi. Like,
No, we're
I
not
feel
though.
like-
That's not what he's saying. That's not what he's doing. And
No,
also,
I'm saying
if
literally
Ian
take,
wasn't
this,
wearing
take
pants.
the
he
Cool
definitely isn't
Runnings
now.
script and just put Medea in it. Oh.
So,
Take the
so
Oscar
wait,
now.
Mickey, let's go back. You just said Ernest versus Medea, but what did you mean? Like they're gonna kill each other, or what are they gonna do?
No, I just
cares?
I would love for them to kill each other. I don't want
I
to
will
watch
say,
another
there's
movie
a
of this.
world though.
Jeez.
There is a world where there's like a Disney Channel sequel to Cool Runnings that's like Cool Runnings 2, High Noon at Mega Mountain, where Jim Varney is now the coach. I'm just saying
Oh,
that
yeah.
exists.
You're
That definitely
right.
exists.
Oh.
Except,
Oh.
isn't it more like what was that?
Cool
one
Runnings Knuckle Up or
Rodriguez did,
something.
Lava Girl and the other one or whatever.
Although to get like way out there with it, I don't know how, but I really want to see Victor Wong in this movie.
Hmm?
I just want to see him. From fucking Golden Child and
I know.
good Lord, everything.
Tremors.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Tremors, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
No,
know
that's
how.
pretty
I think
good.
he needs to
That's
be.
pretty good.
He needs to be
I
in this
mean,
movie.
What else can we mash it up with? What else? I mean, what else are you
I
gonna
don't
do
know,
with
but
the
can we
winner? Is
acknowledge
it the
that
winner?
we-
Is
that
it sports?
In the history of mankind, that this is the first time you'll ever hear Victor Wong pitched in any movie. whatsoever. And
wait
I
a
love
minute,
that.
wait a minute, wait
No,
a
that's
minute.
not true.
Wait,
That's
hold
not
the
true.
phone.
You
Hold
just
the
challenged
phone,
Chris.
people. I think no. I just realized where we need to take this, and it's so obvious. It's been right there the whole time, and we need to take it to snowboarding because that's the next Cool Running, and like snowboarding wasn't even around yet. So you have the first Jamaican
I'm
snowboarding team. And talk about a Rasta Rocket and some good times. There has not been the definitive snowboarding movie, and I think it's just sitting right there.
Sir, obviously you've never seen Snowball Academy starring Jim Varney.
Snowboard Academy with Corey Haim and Jim Varney, and I have it on fucking DVD. Don't tell me.
Thank you.
You're no fucking. I knew Jim Varney. You didn't know Jim Varney.
I mean, look. The audacity of you, sir. I was there watching the commercials. How dare you?
So what else is going on in this movie, Chris? You're probably bringing in someone like Shaun White, right? Like an actual snowboarder.
Oh, if it's a snowboard, you got to bring in, like anyone even adjacent to that culture. Like get Tony Hawk as a cameo in there for sure. Because
and then you have it somewhere cool, like Denver or
and Teresa's kid is really, or his nephew or someone is like really a great skateboarder, and then he's like, yo man, you can snowboard. If you can skateboard, you can snowboard.
So what member of Jackass are you going to do as a cameo?
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny Knoxville. Duh.
Is going to get more
tattoos. Oh yeah, Bam's the skater. Yeah, I guess that.
It works. It works. He's an extreme.
I just like Johnny Knoxville. I just think he's great. I don't know.
Oh, and you know what you can do, Chris? It could be the X Games first, so it's like super cool. Oh,
I love that
would have
shit,
been cool. That honestly would have worked. It actually would have worked. I mean, because again, all you need is the Cool Runnings name. It doesn't matter.
Sanka come in, man.
Yeah, you got to get one of the guys. If you don't get Teresa, you got to get Sanka.
Yeah, you get Dougie Doug. I mean,
Dougie Doug alone.
The soul of the movie.
Let's just admit and let's just say this right now that you don't get any type of Cool Runnings movie without Dougie Doug. I'm
there. You got me.
I'm like, it's the only Dougie Doug in a direct-to-DVD world. Dougie Doug would have been the only remaining cast member from the original movie if they had a sequel to this back in the day. Dougie Doug would have been the only one. You know it.
He might have been too big even at the time. They might have gotten just Junior. They probably would have gotten just Junior, and it would have been Cool Runnings 2, the Berlin decision.
The man did That Darn Cat, the remake. They would have gotten Dougie Doug. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Dougie, I think we're blowing up Dougie Doug a little bit too much. Dougie Doug, as much as we love Dougie,
no. We were talking about
as much as we love Dougie Doug, he wasn't doing anything, and he hasn't done anything that was so good that he's above doing a direct-to-DVD movie.
I can't argue with that.
We were talking about speeches earlier, though, and his speech that he gives about being Jamaican is also pretty good.
Yeah, we're not German. Be yourself. That whole speech is be yourself. We got to be true to ourselves.
Yeah.
We're not gonna win.
Is Jamaican. Yeah.
Exactly. We're not gonna win being somebody
else. And the second they
enter
enter in, they instantly get a smile out of Irv because they're blasting the music, and he's like, I see this. I see what they're doing.
Because you gotta get loose.
Because that's a hard third act right there. They are at their low. I mean, they were.
I tell you, there's some movie magic. The movie gods were on the side of this team that made Cool Runnings because a couple little things don't break quite right, and this is the air up there.
Just like on the track when you're in the sled.
The air up
Even
there. Disney has forgotten that Kevin Bacon monstrosity.
Oh my God! I wonder if it's on Disney Plus. If it is, I need it in HD now.
I doubt it's.
I think it is.
Yeah, I fucking doubt it. Oh, Mickey's saying it is. Disney's pretty completist with their shit. I will say
they do have some obscure
deep cuts
things
up there.
You
shout out to. I gotta say though, shout out to the Roku channel for having the complete Dream on right now because that is just yes, that's right, my friends. Yes, the Roku channel.
Unedit.
I haven't verified that yet, but they have all 6 seasons at least in watchable quality. Even if it's the network Comedy Central version, it's better than nothing, folks. So get your bootlegs ready.
Episode tonight.
Was there physical media? Is there physical media?
Only for seasons 1 and 2. I have a bootleg of the later seasons, but it is unfortunately network versions and not the HBO uncut. I mean, that's a show that needs the unedited, whatever. But I've always wanted to do a Dream On episode. Maybe we'll do that one of these days.
Damn, I love Wendy
time when
Malick.
I take a note.
I love Wendy Malick.
Take a note of that.
Let's go back to the Wayback Time Machine. I can watch Dream On tonight.
You can watch Dream On tonight, my friend. That's what I just told you. All right, we just lost Ian, folks. Ian's cool running right back in time to 1989
Chris, I think
for
that
Brian
means you did
Ben.
something right tonight. I think that.
I'll tell you what, Brian Ben also appears in a newish show, Grace and Frankie. So thank you for tuning me onto that one.
Nice.
But at any rate, we are just about out of time, so I guess it's time for me to say, time to ask if you guys have got anything coming up in the works. Michael, you have a new show. Let the people know where they can follow your work.
Thank you for teeing me up. Yeah, kind of sports related too, although maybe not directly. Me and some good friends from college got together and we put together a sports show called Alumni Game. It's a lot like this show, kind of talking heads and three of us, and we talk about the South Carolina Gamecocks. We went to school and college football, and a lot of the changes in the college football playoff and the way college football works. Is basically a pro game now. People making millions of dollars. And it's been a lot of fun. So if you want to check that out, it's at Alumni Game on YouTube, just like we are right now. And then we have some social media at alumni_game on Instagram. And we just recorded an episode like a couple hours ago, so that'll be out pretty soon. Check it out if you like. Share it with people who like sports and football, and tell us what you think.
Radical. And Ian, Mickey, anything going on in your guys' corner of the world? Articles, books, anything, Ian?
You can check out my newest B movie challenge here at Fandom Spotlight on the Roger Corman classic, The Last Woman on Earth, starring Academy Award winning writer of Chinatown, Robert Towne, which actually involved you actually entering a beauty contest in order to see the movie. So check that out.
Wow. Well, from the dregs of the fucking bottom of the weird. I guess it's time then for me to say that you Fandom fans might want to tune in next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when we travel with Tom Jones and the Temple of Weird for our Mars Attacks episode. As always.
God, finally. I have to sit through all this crap for 170 plus episodes for us to finally get to a movie that is worthy of this show.
Okay, have a good cry. We're gonna finally get it there. It's all okay. One more week, yes. And as always, if you enjoyed this week's episode, the best way to help is to smash that like button, leave a comment telling us what movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode of VCR Redux. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow Fandom Spotlight and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.
Thanks, Coach.